In my research, finding the worst anime shows that this industry has to offer, one of the most common names that you can come across it is a company called Idea Factory. I don't know if some of the animated series they have done in the past have been handled by themselves or any other animation studio, but in the end, these guys have approved trash after trash in their company's history. This company is famous today because of the video game series called Hyperdimension Neptunia, which also has an anime, which I haven't watched, and the only thing I know is that David Production is behind it. Looking deep into their beginnings, these guys are responsible for the worst anime shows the whole internet talks that are Mars of Destruction and Skelter Heaven, which you may not know, but they are based on PlayStation 2 visual novels. And a quick side note, I won't talk about them on this channel because almost everyone has done a video on them, and honestly, I don't see the point when hundreds of videos explaining why they are bad are there for you to watch. After a couple of clicks on the internet, the next worst thing they have done is a series of OVAs called Generation of Chaos, which, as you guessed, they are also based on a video game franchise. I'm starting to notice a pattern here. It seems that the worst crap this medium has to offer is based on video games, and they are not even visual novels in most of the cases. It happened with Vampire Homes, it happened with Panzer Dragoon, again that one is not that horrendous though, and now with this saga called Generation of Chaos. Trying to find information on this one was a pain in the ass, the main reason being that they did a Final Fantasy naming problem with this saga as well when it was distributed overseas. The first three games stayed in Japan, and as a normal person with some logic behind, they will count them. So when the video game series got international release and changed from PS2 to PlayStation Portable, what did they decide to call it? Just Generation of Chaos. Meanwhile, in Japan, it continued the correct count with Generation of Chaos 4. The naming problem is present up to the sixth game, which was the last time Generation of Chaos hit the video game scene. Well, I see the franchise in video game format continue at least decently up to 2012, but with the anime, I am greatly thankful that they stopped before it was too late. Generation of Chaos has the same guy that directed Skelter Heaven, which his name is Satu Yoshiteru, so that doesn't give very good vibes at all. We have another promotional animation for a video game, but again, maybe this one is not that bad. This wasn't his worst work because Skelter Heaven was made 3 years later after Generation of Chaos because, who am I kidding? This one is horrible too. Whatever the guy touches, it becomes instant garbage. Let's begin. The title sequence is not bad. It looks promising even for 2001 standards, and the song they chose has that distinctive sound from late 90s, early 2000s. But once the show starts, oh boy, those promising illusions of the title sequence go to the toilet very fast. First, what are these crappy 3D animations? It is 2001, I know, but come on, PlayStation 2 has better graphics than this. Even PlayStation 1 does better things with their polygons. Again, why does Panzer Dragoon get so much hate? The story is divided in two episodes. Yeah, this thing is barely 25 minutes long, but they decided to make two stories. The first one with this typical JRPG protagonist and his big knockoff Pokemon companion in their odyssey to a city called Kamuria, for some reason. Also, he has this nightmare that his other Pokemon will leave him because he is getting older. It seems that in the world of Generation of Chaos, the older you get, then you cannot train this Pokemon. Maybe Ash Ketchum will be suitable for this series, because he is always 10. After arriving to the horrible CG animated city, he hides his Pokemon in this abandoned house and looks for food in this pathetic running animation. And the idiot decides to buy just one fruit. One fruit. I don't know, but looking at the creature, I don't think that one fruit will be suitable for him. After buying the fruit, he sees this idiot knight that falls from this tower. And why isn't he dead? I don't know. Is there some kind of magic survival error in this horrible CG land? And then the most annoying characters from this show arrive with the gimmick of this girl interrupting this guy constantly. As comedy characters, they fail miserably. So after landing and even leaving a horrible CG hole, this knight survives and explains that he's supervising if another Pokemon was on the city because those creatures become evil, for some reason. After hearing about this, the forgettable protagonist goes back to the house and what the hell is this background? What I'm looking at? How can they be so cheap? I know Idea Factory wasn't a big company back then, but what kind of backgrounds are these? It looks like if they grab Microsoft Paint and throw that into their animation software and they did not even try to mix it correctly with the background. You can see the white line showing how this crap was a simple copy and paste and not even mixed with the background correctly. So with the recycle animation sequence, he goes back to the abandoned house to find the Pokemon is going berserk and he's trying to save him. But the knight wants to kill the creature, and after a brilliant idea, they decide to open the well and let it go rampage into the world of horrible CG land. We don't know if being free from the horrible CG city was going to make him calm down in the infinite space of copy and paste horrible backgrounds. We will never know. And then the try-hard comic duo comes back, and since they are so cheap, they even fast forward their dialogue so they can finish this in time for the second episode.
お前たちか。町の様子はどうだ。はい、死亡した者たち。死亡者ゼロか。怪我人の治療も終わったんだな。よし、よくやった。
To wrap up this episode, the episode ends with an anecdote that our protagonist is telling to the knight. Okay, let me get this straight. They were telling a backstory, but within that backstory he had a dream or he was dreaming in that backstory. I don't get it. Does that even make any sense? Oh well, that's how episode 1 ends. Now to episode 2. And it is only about 10 minutes to finish, so let's see how it goes. The second episode is just a boring lore story about how this demon girl and her sister want to live in peace with the humans. Also, I don't know if the worlds of the first and second episode are related at all, because the first episode looks like it's about this cheap knockoff of Pokemon World, and the second they throw this tragic story about this girl. She goes to work at a textile company, but all of a sudden a little ember starts a big fire. How the hell did it go from a little ember to a big fire in just seconds? I don't know. Besides, the fire was on the blanket she was working, not in the room. Whatever. I should stop trying to find logic in these horrendous shows when there is none of it. Later she escapes from the fire, but the citizens blame her and take her sister and they burn them because she was responsible for the fire. Wow, these guys really hate demons. And none of that didn't happen because it was only a dream. Therefore, she returns to her home only to find out that this man and his tribe burned the house with her sister dying inside. Then a demon knight shows up and he asks her to join in the fight of demons versus humanity, and that's it. This is Generation of Chaos. In general, this one is a low-effort video game promotion, but unlike Panzer Dragoon, Generation of Chaos doesn't even try. It is an insult to the people watching it. I believe they used their whole budget for the CG animated backgrounds because they were showing many panoramic views of this whole country every single time they could. Another thing to add, the animation disappears in some scenes. Look at these trees. Later, the leaves from the trees disappear from existence. What the hell? This doesn't even look like a video game glitching. Another aspect is that some of the animation on the faces of the characters are just slapped there without any way of showing dynamic change in them. They just inserted a transition on the faces, but you can look that it doesn't seem natural. One more thing to add is that if they had done the story about the demon girl and it was based just in that and making it longer, like the Mega Man X OVA, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. If you think of it, it looks like both parts were handled by different people. Because one of the few things I liked was the animation and character design for the second part. It is average, but doesn't look that low quality like the first part, and has more 2D backgrounds than 3D ones. Just this instance I found bad CG on the second part. Another thing I liked was the opening. It is good, but the opening trolls you because they show many characters and only the demon girl appears on the show. Looking more into it, they just copy and pasted the game intro into this. Not a bad decision because I like the song, but again, it is a very cheap way to do it. Also, I like the creatures designs. It seems that these studios can make good looking mystical creatures, but with humans they look so unprofessional and not even well made. And that's Generation of Chaos. A crappy video game promotion with no heart and just thrown around to see who could buy it and make some more money out of it. Even after the ending credit finished, they decided to promote the game itself. I think it would have been better to make more videos of this instead of that terrible animation. Heck, I even want to try the games, because they don't look so bad. Hey, they got me there. But still, the animation is crap and a really pointless one. Well, this is everything from my part. This is El-Cap-san. You can give a like and subscribe if you want to find more crap anime, or even recommend me one. Take care in whatever you do, and see you soon. Goodbye.